So, good evening, everybody. This is Friends Becoming Neighbors, October. Oh, and my husband's home. Wow. Um, Friends Becoming Neighbors for our October meeting. And I am so excited to see so many new people, so many returning people. There's some people who are trying to get here and are still in the car. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Robin Chatskin, and I am now a proud Bluffian. Um, we keep changing what we are, and my husband Michael and I have been here 2 months. Hey, honey. Um, and it's been really interesting. There's been some really cool stuff going on here. A week, 2 weeks ago, uh, one of our original friends becoming neighbors for our very first meeting, two families that literally met on the very first meeting of this group. Um, the Fishers and the Walkers, and the Fishers' son and daughter-in-law and her sister lost everything up in Tennessee and in Asheville. And Sean came to me and said, I'd like to do something. You think you could help? So he did a huge barbecue. We did raffle prizes. We had a great party at the clubhouse. Everybody was super, super generous. And we raised over $5,000 to send, and they've been paying it forward to other families in the area. And the really cool part of it was, number one, they literally met they lived next door to each other. They met here a little over 2.5 years ago. And we've become family. This is what the Bluffs does. The people in the community were amazing. The people in the outside of the community were incredibly generous with the raffle prizes. I mean, we had some really cool stuff. One of our members had donated a bottle of, was it Blackston bourbon? Some fancy bourbon that I had no idea about. Janine, you're laughing. What's it? What's it?
I'm think was that from Dale, right?
No, no,
Oh, okay, because I
no, it
know
was from
he likes
somebody
his
else.
bourbon and whiskey.
But
That's
it was so interesting because everybody wanted that bourbon. They were like hovering about the bourbon. But it was the community in general was really wonderful about not only the Bluffs community, but the whole area. So I was very grateful. It was beautiful to see, what happened, that it all started on a screen in 2022. So this is the community that we are choosing to call home, and it's been very exciting. Hey, Nancy,
hey,
how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Healed up pretty well, thanks.
Oh, good, good. So I'm going to change this up a little bit, as I was saying before, and we're going to go around, but I'd like everybody to either share, if you're living here and you want to share something about what you've learned since you've been here that you think everybody would like to know, or if you have a question about something. We have um, some meetings coming up with the PO. We have the POA coming up, and we also have some brag meetings where we're going to be getting some information. We have some time to find out things if you need to know them around the POA meeting. So I'm just going to throw that out to everybody as well. And if there's questions that you have that you need answered just in general, something that you want to share, something wonderful that has happened in your life, and I'm going to throw it out there. So I am going to start with, let's see, Rosie. We'll start with you tonight. Hi.
Hi, I am in my house finally.
Yay.
I know. I moved in on the, let's see, 25th, I think, of September. So I was here for, I don't know, 5 or 6 days, and then I had to leave because my mom had gotten pretty sick. She lives in Mississippi, so I had to get in the car one night and drive down there. So I was away for a couple of weeks, but she's doing better. I say that to say I came back last week and then I had to go back to work. So I still have a bunch of boxes if anybody wants to come help me unpack them. But no, it's been good. It's been good. I'm just trying to get acclimated, and it seems a little unsettled right now because it is unsettled. I'm still unpacking and trying to get things kind of in order. Have some wonderful neighbors that are next door that moved in a little before me, Keith and Karen. Yeah, so we're getting to know each other a little bit, and it's been good. So yeah, looking forward to a lot of good memories to come and to meet more people. So
Awesome. Awesome. Glad to hear your mom's getting better. Yeah,
she's doing
definitely.
better, thanks.
And you're right around the sort of right around the corner. I'm still learning. There's a lot of
I'm on Flint Rock, so yeah, Flint Rock Road.
Yep, it's all good. It's all good. Anything that you want to share that you've learned, or a question that you have about something?
I just want to see.
Not right off the top of my head. Like I said, I'm still trying to gather things. But when you were talking about the POA meeting and stuff, like, how did we find out? I guess it's all in the community site as to when all those meetings occur and such like that. Is that
So
correct?
okay, so the POA meeting is I think it's the second weekend in December, and it is on there. So the other meetings that I was talking about are more it's just we're trying to get some information out there. We have a couple of committees that have been formed. If anybody is interested in getting more involved with the residents assistance group and would like to sit on some committees now that you're here and would like to be a little bit more involved, give me a call tomorrow. We have a meeting coming up and we're going to be talking, we need some help on some committees. So it's a wonderful way to kind of get you dip your toes. It's not a lot of time or work, but we have a lot of new people that are moving in, and it's a great way to get to meet people. So Rosie, I'm more than happy to sit down and talk to you about some of that stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. No worries. Okay. Let's see. Barbara.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Okay, so let's see. We should be hopefully keeping our fingers crossed that we will be starting that build soon. I guess we got declined from our couple of weeks ago, so they just asked us to change a location of a window. So okay, we did. So I think they meet tomorrow again. We should be all good. And then whatever, breaking ground November, getting foundation in by December. We should be in by next July, the end of July, beginning of August. So we're kind of.
Who are you building with?
We're building with Kent. We're on Bay Colony with you.
Yep.
We are kind of more towards the front of Bay Colony kind of thing. Our sign is in front, Backstrom's. It's my husband and I will be moving in from Thursday. So yep, all good.
Yeah, it's been really interesting. Bay Colony, which was non-existent, it was pretty almost non-existent, it really has filled up. And Belmead seems to be, these areas are filling up rather quickly. But welcome and exciting. And I pass your sign all the time. It's all good. It's all good.
Need some breaking of ground.
Yeah, absolutely. But the sign looks great. The sign is looking great. It's holding up really, really well. Miss Jen.
Well, I think what I would like to share, and we've been in the house, maybe 3 weeks now. But between my husband's work travel, my work travel, it's just been kind of hit and miss when we're both here together so far. But I want to share that the neighbors, so we're on Cherry Court in the cul-de-sac, and I just want to share the neighbors in this whole area, not just John and Melissa, who are fantastic, but really every single neighbor in this cul-de-sac has either come over and introduced themselves, brought dinner in some cases, brought gifts. We got amazing wine from John and Melissa, but just the warm welcome that we've received from everybody is just so astounding. And this was kind of one of those more established cul-de-sacs, so they weren't brand new houses being built. So they've just been so gracious in accepting us and welcoming us in, and it's really lovely to have such great neighbors.
Oh, terrific. I'm glad to hear that. And thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and you have the benefit of being out of the neighborhood in like a nanosecond.
Right.
Yeah, we are a full 5 minutes from starting my car to the
Yep.
gate. To the gate.
Oh,
Okay, I am 14 minutes if there's no cars, but 15 minutes to the Food Lion from starting my car. So, that seems to be that's the barometer of how close and how far you actually are from different places. But no, welcome, and I'm excited that you're here, and we'll have to come over and visit.
yeah, definitely.
It's been crazy. It's been crazy. So, Miss Kim, you've been very busy.
Yes, we have. So we're not officially in the Bluffs yet, but Brian, I'm on my iPad, so I think it's to the right of my iPad here. But Brian, you're 2 houses down, because it goes Brian's house, and then it goes to Whitlock's, and then it goes my house, and then catty corner across from me is Miss Janine. So I've been sending her pictures because they did do groundbreaking finally on her lot. But my house is on River Parkway. It is with Kent. They move so fast. Oh, I'm gonna tell you. So those of you who are building, here's what's exciting is, especially if you're in the area. So we live in Brunswick Forest. We're in a rental. We came here June 3rd. When they break ground, you go, oh, that's exciting, because you feel, because you guys, most of us have been like thinking about this, dreaming about it. You buy the lot, and like when we bought our lot, you couldn't even get to it. We had to go in someone's, like mountain truck to find, and we never got a chance to see what the whole lot even looks like. So it was on a wing and a prayer, right? And so then we came around the corner one day, and they were putting up the frame. I started to cry, because then it becomes 3-dimensional, right? I was like, took my breath away. So if you can be around, or you can see going from the cement blocks, and you're walking inside the cement blocks, and I'm saying to my husband, our furniture is not going to fit in here, because everything looks really small when you see the cement blocks, and they're showing you, this is the living room, this is the bedroom. I'm like, this is really small. It looks like a Barbie doll house. Like, this can't be. And then the framing starts going up. And like I said, it took my breath away. And the guy was there with a crane putting the triangle things up on top. So he stopped the crane, and he said to my husband and I, we thought, we were like, oh no, we're in the way, we better back up. He goes, no, you want a picture? So he brought one of the trestles down. So my husband held one end, I held the other end. I said to the worker bees, I said to the guys, come here, be in the picture. And they took a picture of us holding one of the, I guess you call them trestles or trestles, and before they put it up. So that was kind of like surreal as well. So right now they are doing the drywall on the inside, and they're doing the siding. And my husband's feeding me the words. I'll just send you a quick picture. He's like, I don't want to be in it, but there he is. Hello.
There he is.
He's like, he's the the quiet one of the group. So that's what they're doing right now. And then those of you who get a chance to come visit, if you get to come visit your house before the drywall goes up, I went through every room in my house, and I put in Bible verses, and I wrote the whole Bible verse out. So every room has been blessed according to whatever room. Even the bathroom says, have things be cleansed and flushed down easily. And the guest room, may all the guests find rest and peace while they're here. The kitchen, every room has been written 3 or 4 Bible verses in there. So now it's going to be, I feel like God, it will be hugging my house, because he's in the wood of it. And now the drywall will go up, and I took pictures of all. Oh, now I can see Brian. Brian's now there. So those of you who do live in the community, if I haven't met you yet, hopefully I will. I do teach already in there. I wanted to kind of get my foot in the door. So Diane Shopey, who is awesome, she helped me do that. But if you like simple, easy stretching, yoga type things. You won't even know you're in yoga. So, guys, you can come join me. I teach a somatic developmental yoga on Thursday night at 5:30, and I teach a regular what they call Soma Flow on Wednesdays at 10:15. We're teaching right now in the Bluffs um, main room there, the community room. It's just a great way to just get connected with your body. And I just wanted to get in there before the big building came up because I don't know if they're going to have a certain system, if I'm going to be able to teach or not. But I thought,
Yeah,
you know,
and it's great, and I've heard amazing things about your class, and Kim is terrific, and thank you.
you're welcome. So that's me.
Yep, David, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? Welcome.
Thank you. We live presently in Pennsylvania. I'm retired. My wife, who doesn't want to be on the camera, but I'm going to put it on anyway. She's still working. We both worked at Merck. We know, like Brian said, we go way back 20 years, and he kind of introduced us to the neighborhood and kind of sold itself. We were there 2 weeks ago for selections. Hopefully start build first of next year with moving in probably September or October of next year.
All right, terrific. You have any questions or anything that you want to
Actually,
share?
I actually do. So we were in a couple of weeks ago and self-service. We have AT&T, but it seemed to be spotty in the development. Is that something that's with every self-service or?
So that was one of the questions, and I think it's part of the rite of passage of coming from someplace else, coming from the Northeast. So we had Verizon, and which I've had since before Verizon was Verizon and a million years ago. And we gave it up, and we now got T-Mobile.
Okay.
And we didn't have internet for the first, what, Michael, 3 weeks, almost a month. And we were working off of our cell phones as a hotspot. So it was really great. I think it depends a lot. Melissa, you and I have talked about this, where you are versus where we are. Cell service here has been a little wonky. Some people are really great with it. We did speak to somebody who spoke to somebody at Verizon, and they don't have any plans right now to build any extra towers. So we've had really literally no problems whatsoever. Janine and I had this whole thing because she had Verizon, and we were trying so hard to have a conversation. She was walking through my
Your
house,
house.
and she kept going into the
There's like-
cul-de-sac. So people show up in my house, to use internet and things like that. So I think part of it is where you're located in the community, and people can disagree with me if that's the case. Jen, I know, you're in one part of the community. Keith and Karen, you're in a different part of the community. I mean, we're in the same areas, but I think some of it has to do with water. Some of it has to do with where we are. But we have T-Mobile, and literally we ran all of our computers and our tablets and everything off of our cells. So for us, it works. I think you just have to kind of figure out, where you are, but that is definitely, but Verizon is looking at the area. They do not have any plans right now to put a tower in. But there it is. There it is. So hopefully that it may not, you may not like the answer, but that seems to be where we are right now.
Well, thank
So
you.
everybody seems to be putting in the messages that they went to T-Mobile. They say, from what I'm hearing, they seem to have taken lead in this area. But T-Mobile has really, I've been in the store in Leland. The people were really super helpful, but it's super busy like all the other stores. And also I think it's the phone. Anybody here not have an iPhone
Yeah,
that's
we
on T-Mobile?
we have Google Pixel phones, and we have Google Fi as our provider. And okay, I'm in Minnesota, but we've never ever had an issue when we come to the Bluffs, and we've never had an issue with cell service at our. We're right down from you, Robin, and we've never had an issue.
Cool. Okay, well that's really good to know. And Jen, you have a Samsung. So I'm just curious, you know, because everything I own, everything Michael and I own for the most part are Apple devices. So I just take it for granted that, you know, that everybody's works the same way. So, but that's what we'll keep you posted. So definitely ask questions. Tammy and Rob, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what's going on.
Hello, neighbors. Hi, Robin.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm Tammy. This is my husband, Rob. We are on lot 552, right across the street from Kim Hurt, who was just on. We met her last week. And Janine, I know Janine is our next door neighbor. And then Brian is across the street. I think Brian is on here. I'm not sure. Brian and Kim. And we are building a Kent home, and as you can see, we have empty shelves in the back here. We're due to move into our new home within the next month to month and a half. I think it's going to be ready by the end of next month, and we'll probably move in early December. So we're very excited. Lots going on right now there. We try and visit every other week, if not every week. And each time we go down, we find something that last time we went, we had blue ceilings that should have been white. and the countertop, the island countertop was the wrong size. So we find things each time we go down, and they correct it for us. So yeah, we're excited.
All right, awesome. Awesome. Where are you living now?
We are in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay, terrific.
Yeah. And I do have a question.
Sure.
So I know I've seen this. I've either heard it on the video here or I've seen it somewhere, but there's some kind of don't you have a sheet with all the numbers that we're trying to get things hooked up, and isn't there something somewhere that I can go to and find
Yes.
that?
So if you go into Michael, honey, could you pull that up on the portal, please? And then I'll give you permission. I'll give you to share your screen. Do you know where it is, or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, let me see. You keep talking. Let me see what I can find.
Okay. So yes, so it is on the owner's portal.
Yep.
Okay, and it's under there's a new resident information. We just updated it. At the keys, if you're looking to do your mailbox keys, there is a form there to fill out for your mailbox keys, and you send away like $85. It's an independent service, and just give me a second, and then you can do. So what I'm going to do.
So Robin, when you say owners portal, do you mean the Bluffs, North Carolina?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to
Okay.
I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see it. Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah. Okay.
Okay. So this is the Bluffs community. So everybody should be here, and also so this is where you're going to find everything. So those of you, the Bluffs directory, so you put a person's name. Please make sure that you guys are in there, because this is how people are able to find you. So resources. So under the resources, in this area, you're going to find all this stuff that you're asking about. So this is the new owner information document. I just worked on getting this done. So in here are going to be the phone numbers, what you use the numbers for. This is the design review board. So those of you who are starting to build, this is the area where if you have questions about something with your house, you're going to find that information. This is Bragg that we spoke about. These are all the social media areas where you're going to find different things for the Bluffs. The team reach groups, which if you have any questions about, we're happy to do that. This is the website, the owners portal information, the emergency numbers that you might need. So that's that particular part of the website. If you were looking here, this is how you get your keys. So information is here. So this is what you were just asking about, Tammy.
Yeah.
So this is under the Bluffs Homeowners Guide. So did you see where I had that?
I see
So
it.
this is the second one here. So this is the Bluff homeowners, utility services, mailbox, and everything else. So in here,
Yeah.
you're going to find all the phone numbers and the information for all of the things that you're going to need for Duke, for TV. Make sure that as soon as you get here, you call to order a garbage can. These are all things that you'll know about, and feel free if you get stuck on something, feel free to reach out to some of us who are living here, and you can always give me a call. I'm still learning different things. Definitely, from a driver's license, Michael and I weren't able. We got here in September. We got an appointment to go to get our driver's license in December.
Oh,
So
wow.
so there seems to be a
Wow.
bit of an issue for that. And I can tell you about that. Here is the information about mailbox keys. So you can get your mailbox keys as soon as you want. We did it, I think, Michael, we did it as soon as we knew we were getting our CO, right? Because we knew that we'd be moving here soon. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on this little area here, and you just fill this out. Okay, so you put your address that's here, and they're going to deliver it FedEx. You put your information here, where you are now. You submit this. What's going to happen is that they're going to then send you an envelope. They send you an email asking you for your credit card information. You put your credit card information in, and it came to my house within like 3 or 4 days. And then you have your mailbox keys.
Okay.
Does that answer some of those questions?
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. How about the device to get into the gate without having to put pound?
Okay, so clickers, those clickers are no longer being sold because the community is going to be turned over to, it's going to be a teeny tiny little like micro sticker on your headlight. They're waiting. So it's happening. The clubhouse, the beach house, the gatehouse is all going to be kind of part of the same entry information. You're not going to put in a code anymore for the beach club and the clubhouse. It's going to be an app on your phone. So for now, we're going to just put, we've been putting our fingers, and there are some people you could put it up on living in the Bluffs and ask. So some people have extras. So people they're willing to sell them at this point. But they're not selling them anymore at the clubhouse because I'm going to say the way things are going, I don't think it'll happen before the end of the year, but probably the beginning of the year where they'll get the stickers on your cars. It takes a long time. It's a lot of work, but you have your code. But you have a code.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. You're welcome. Okay, let's see. Keith and Karen. Where's my?
She's coming.
Sorry, I was making
There you go. Okay.
Okay, I would say took a couple of notes as we were going through here. I would say the things that I've learned is some of the store hours are limited compared to where we lived in Northern Virginia. So if you want to get a haircut or have your nails done, they may close at 5 o'clock at night. Okay, so that's one of the things I learned. If you're going to get your driver's plate here, and if your car is paid off, make sure you bring your title with you. I couldn't find my title after the move. I had no idea where it was. I, hemmed and hawed, and I couldn't find it. We looked all over it. Finally, we went online and paid $15 to order a new title. So if you haven't yet moved and your car is paid off, bring your title with you. And then third tip I would say is with that sheet that Robin showed you for new homeowners, you saw the phone numbers for the security team. And it's important to put the security team's phone number in your phone. Because that sometime you're going to have to, you might have a maintenance guy come out, or you may have, a friend who's coming in, and you can call the security team right away and tell them, hey, my friend Mel's coming and she's driving a navy blue Atlas and she'll be here in the next 15 minutes.
And the security guys are really great, and they take care of your friends that are coming to visit you. I have yet to find a good nail salon that I'm interested in. So if any of the people who are already here know of one and could let me know, I'd be happy. I really need that on my feet right now.
So I'm going to tell you that when I was about that nail salon thing. So I was flying down here when I came, and a young lady, his mom had moved a year ago, and I said, "Do you happen to know where she's getting her nails done?" Because, like, it's one of those things. And she looked at me. She lives in Compass Point, and she said she goes to Walmart. And
Really?
I said, "No, really." Like, no, really. So I said, she says, "No, no, no. You have to go to Nina at Walmart." So I said, because I have a strange sense of humor. Those of you who know, Jen's laughing. She knows my sense of humor. And I said, even if it's the worst mani-pedi that I get in my life, I have to call my friends back in New York and say, I went to have my nails done at the Walmart. I had to say it. And I will tell you, I've gone twice, and her name is Nina. It's lasting amazingly well. She did a phenomenal job. It's at the Walmart. It's only the family. The family owns this. They've been there 17 years.
Uh-huh.
So it's family owned. It's the same people all the time. She has all the really cool stuff price wise. She was about the same. There's men that go there, the women, and I see a lot of the same women every time. I've been twice. I highly recommend her. As I said, her name is Nina. She's actually on time, which is a big thing because my last manicurist, but I had to call back to my manicurist, and she said, "So how are your nails?" I said, "I got them done at the Walmart." So, and you can certainly tell her that I sent you. She says, "Please tell everybody," just to tell her. And all you can walk in. You can also just walk in if you want, and somebody will take care of it. I know the men are going like this. There's so many other things that are so important, but this is one of those things. Keith found a really good cigar shop, and I found a good manicurist, which is really all good.
The other thing too, Kim, I know that because I work on Bob Conger and I are working on the state-of-the-art fitness center and the exercise room. So Kim, if you'll give me a call.
Yeah, she sent us an email.
I sent you an email,
Yeah.
but did she call back? Anyway, you can call me, Kim. So if you want to take my phone number, you can call me because we now have 4 bids. We're going to get a 5th. And then I'm briefing out Doug, I think sometime in 2 weeks.
All right, you want me to give you, do I have your number? I can look it up.
618-799-9778.
Okay.
And the people well, there's the state-of-the-art fitness center side, and then there's the exercise room. And
Right.
Diane wanted to call it an exercise room because she wants guys to go, and if it's called a yoga room, the guys won't show. Okay, so my Karen and Diane and one other lady, they've kind of put the whole thing together as far as what's going to be in the quote exercise side of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be mirrors and bars and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, and we want men to use the exercise room. There's lots of reasons to stretch.
How low's the bar going to be stuck?
Thank you for asking that question, because I was just about to ask that, but
there's a higher bar and a higher bar and a lower bar, and there's no pole.
No pole dancing.
But pole dancing is very hard to do.
You burn more calories with the pole.
All right, Kim, that's good. That's the next class you got to teach.
Okay, hey, listen, whatever it takes, whatever it takes.
It sounds like it's been in your house numerous times, Brian. You're going to be the party man, I can tell.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's a perfect segue, Brian. Why don't you introduce yourself? He forever will be the pole man.
Right. So my name is Frank Wazinski. My wife, Kim, we're moving in right now, the last week of May. Our house is being used as a model home. For all the new people, this group there's always stuff to be answered, from generators to pools to landscaping to, if you sit and listen long enough, you'll get enough information to answer what you're looking for. That's all I really got to say.
Oh,
Have a great day.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. So Paul and Lillian.
Yeah, we're both here on two different devices. So we're really been pushing it hard, trying to get going. We'll finally be closing on the construction loan on Thursday. Come higher water, whatever it is, whatever the saying is. It's been a real long drive. So many delays here and there. I don't know why. Someday we'll have to write them all down. I don't know why. But thankfully it's coming to a close, and then be breaking ground next week, I guess. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's terrific. Great.
Yeah. Yeah. Last week, life event, we celebrated 38 years of marriage. So thank you. I don't know. Do we have any questions to ask? Oh, one thing. Yeah, we had a disappointment last week. Our color was disallowed, denied. So we went through the whole weekend picking out a new color, and we're kind of in love with that color. So hopefully they'll be approving the new color. So.
Yeah, that seems to be a big question, and a
Yeah.
big thing. But no, we're excited. Hey, listen, you love the second color. Maybe it was meant to be. There was a reason for it. So no, we're excited that you're breaking ground. And Paul, if you need pictures of anything that you're not getting, you have a whole tribe of people here who will be very happy to do whatever, to get you
Got a bunch. And yeah, we're making plans to come down to the POA. Hopefully that'll be right about the time that we get to check out the foundation and the pre-drywall. Hopefully that'll work out just right. So
awesome. That's excellent. So the Deckers, I see someone poking in there. So why don't you introduce yourselves and tell everybody what's going on?
Hello.
Hello.
Let's see. So we're lot 322 on Belmead, very first lot on the left, right behind Patty and Dennis. And we are, let's see, our siding is going on now. Windows are in. I think doors are going in, right?
I don't know about doors, but
anyway, roof should be shingled next week. And then, and trades are finishing up inside. So then drywall will start. So we're very excited. We will be down for the POA meeting in December. And we are at this point looking at moving in sometime July, hopefully.
Yeah, the HVAC. There have been people at your house every single day because I pass your house every single day.
I love hearing those updates.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So if you need anything, let us know.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We're getting good updates and pictures from Andrew regularly. He's doing a great job.
I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear it. So Janine, what's going on with you guys?
Hi, everybody. So we broke ground. We're at lot 551. We're next door to Tammy, and across from Kim. So both of them have been sending me some great pictures. So thank both you. Keep them coming. And we got approval from the POA a little bit ago, and there was a slight delay with permit backup, I guess, because of the storm Debbie that came through before Helene. So once they got that, though, we got it on Tuesday last week, and by the end of the week, our footings were in, inspected, approved, and they started doing all the masonry on the foundation. They put in the power source, and because we had some step downs in the lot, they do have to get a little bit more brick, so that should be arriving momentarily. And then hopefully by the end of the week, they'll be ready to pour the foundation. And as Paul said, hoping, since we're not far apart, we're both with Haygood, to be able to tie in the POA meeting with coming down for the pre-drywall walkthrough, kind of kill two birds with one stone. And I'll just say this because it's more of a share. Robin had expressed quite, I don't know how many meetings ago, but about Julia. And she does a complimentary service to people in the Bluffs. It's an hour and a half free consultation. I'm speaking with her on Thursday. And then if you feel you guys are a good fit and want to use her services going forward, she gives a really good rate as an interior designer, or even just help with walking, FaceTiming through your house and saying like, I don't know if this will fit here. Like I sent her all of our floor plans, the mood board, the colors. So it seems like a really fun and exciting thing because I know on my end, I'm not too bad at decorating, but decorating up north is different from decorating down south, just from a color and heaviness standpoint. So I'm at the point where I'll take any information on any topic. All it can do is help. So
No. So I just worked with Julia. We had gone up to Furniture. Michael and I had gone up to Furniture Land South, and he's going to share his wonderful experience about that. But we had gone up because everybody talks about it. So we figured it was a rite of passage to come to North Carolina and go to these places. And I had taken a look at the things, and things were expensive. I mean, I was expecting it to be, a nano amount of these prices. So we came back and we sat in every sofa, and we ended up with the sofa that Julia had recommended from the very first, and I went to her house and we sat down and we went through a lot of things. And first of all, they're not pushy, not, just not opinionated. She made me feel like it was my house versus something else. And she was able to beat all the prices at Furniture Land. So, really super open to everything, not pushy, not judgy. So definitely, give her a call. She's waiving the fee, the $250 fee for her first consultation. And she will look at your house plans. She's been down here for quite a long time. She's done so many different houses. She used to own a store here, but everything is now in her home office, and got to play. It was really a lot of fun, and showed me things that in a million years, it would never have occurred to me, making me feel like now this is my house. Like I looked at the patterns and things she put together, and I looked at it and went, wow, that's my great room. Like that's my home. And I never expected that to be. So if you want information, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to share it. Michael, you went through all of this. Honey, why don't you share what you want to share about things?
So Robin and I, when we came down, we brought a bunch of furniture with us, and there were some rooms that were not going to be furnished, or we were going to bring things that were placeholders. Because it was, okay, we need a table, so we'll bring this table, but it's not the forever table. We need to have a dining room table. So we brought our old dining room table. Now that we don't know what to do with it, because we did order furniture for the dining room, and ordered furniture for the bedroom, and we ordered outdoor furniture and, furniture for the great room. So we've been doing furniture for our first 2 months. So it's been just tons of fun for me. I wish I could do this forever, Robin. I really do.
I know.
And so one of the treks that we made recently, it was our big first trip, was up to Greensboro to Furniture Land South, which we've been hearing about. And so Furniture Land South really does have tons of stuff. They have 3 huge buildings, and you can't go there and just wander around. I don't know, what do they say, 1 million square feet, whatever it is. It's massive. And each building has 3 floors. One of the buildings is an outlet center, but don't think that 1 minute that just puts it's an outlet center, that it's discounted down to nothing. They did actually quote us on a bunch of stuff. They gave us really excellent prices. And in the end, with everything that we looked at there, indoor and outdoor furniture, the only thing we're getting from Furniture Land South are the stools. That's it. Because then we came back and we started to shop things around here, and some of the local stores either had something better or less expensive, or they were doing price matching product for product. So I do, if you want to make a trip up to Furnitureland, it's not a bad trip. It's actually a good thing. They have tremendous selection, and you just have to be very patient because it's big, and you do have to arrange in advance with their salespeople slash designer slash planner, because based upon what you want, they'll take you to the specific locations within the 3 buildings so that you're not wasting your time wandering around for 3 days. We were up there for a day and a half. So, but that's what we've been doing. It's been just tons of fun, furniture shopping, 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 shopping. And we are actually going to start to fill in some of those spaces now. I won't bore everybody with the schedule, but things are going to be showing up next week and then next month and then 2 months from now. So we'll still have more to do, but we are going to start to fill up some of the spaces that were temporary.
So I'm going to share this with you just to embarrass him because it's fun. So there is Michael in front of the world's largest dresser. I mean, it is Furnitureland. That is definitely Furnitureland. So
that's the front of the building.
So yes,
Front
they
of the building.
they take their furniture very, very seriously. So now hey, listen, it's all good. I did leave. I put Julia's information there, and certainly let her know that you're getting to her from Friends Become Friends. Just mention my name. She's super easy to talk to, and I can also share her presentation if you'd like me to. So did I get everybody? Did I forget anybody at all? Oh, Tim and Gretchen. Silly me. We were blending in.
We're Tim and Gretchen, and we moved into our home at 9187 Fallen Pear on October 11th. It took about 11 months. We were supposed to be in at the end of August in 9 months, but Brunswick County seems to have a problem with grinders, your sewage system kind of thing. So my recommendation to people that are newly starting to build, keep on top of your builders.
You're going in and out a little.
Yeah, you're going in and out of your sound.
Yeah, I
okay.
can't hear you.
Okay, grinders. It's your sewage system, how it works outside your house. And Brunswick County has only so many grinders they deliver to each development a month. So we had issues with Debbie in August. It put everybody back a couple weeks, and then another storm came in early September. So it just kept getting pushed back. Our builders requested it in July. But for some reason or another, their schedules are really bogged down to get the grinder. Once you get the grinder, the inspections are pretty quick, but a suggestion would be that you make sure your builders are requesting their grinders from Brunswick County in a reasonable amount of time, so it's there and not a holdup. The whole inside of our house was done in August, and we've been waiting for 2 months because you can't get your certificate of occupancy without the grinder. So that was lots of fun, but we're in and just about every box is unpacked and we're pretty happy. This is our living room that's behind us.
I see a fire in the fireplace.
Tim,
your fireplace and light are gorgeous.
Tim got a linear electric fireplace. It can throw heat if we wanted to, but we're from Western Maryland and we had gas stove there, and moving down here, we didn't feel we needed it, but we do like the fireplace look kind of thing. And then I do have one question.
Sure.
Is it possible that we might be able to get picnic tables at the gazebo by the river?
I believe that it's on. There is some seating that is on the calendar. It's on the plan. We went yesterday. My friend and I went down there. I hadn't been down there. It's like my second favorite place in the whole world. And we just brought chairs. I know that there has been discussions. I'm going to put it on my list because I'm going to be speaking with Doug. I just, I believe that they were talking because there's going to be a whole games area over there. The problem with tables, especially over in that area and any places here in the community where food is being served, are the animals that are around, and then people need to clean up. Unfortunately, there's garbage. You'll notice that there aren't garbage cans in certain places because people need to take their stuff. So if I remember correctly, and don't quote me on it, but I do believe that there was some discussions about putting tables over there because people wanted them. And the woodworking committee said that we'll build them. So, it wasn't a developer thing. A lot of it is because of the garbage. Who is going to empty the garbage? Who is going to release the garbage? We have it in the clubhouse. We have it, there's a lot of situations there. And it sounds so simplistic, but it's really not, because right now we have what, 200, are we up to 300 houses? Here, and there's going to be 650. People are going to be living over by that area. In fact, we met the people yesterday who bought the lot literally right next to the gazebos. So there are going to be a lot of people living over there and a lot of people hopefully using the facilities. So I think that was the conversation. The tables aren't the problem. It's what's happening with the garbage. If you've ever been to the clubhouse after a party, sometimes people they don't clean up after themselves. They expect that other things are getting done. And they've been starting to taking deposits from people who are renting, reserving the clubhouse, because I've seen how people have left it. Even after a day at the pool, where there's potato chips on the ground, and then, we get bugs and animals and stuff like that. So I will bring it up again. I will see if I can get an answer. I'd love to be able to get some tables and chairs over there, and see what we can do. But right now I'm leaving chairs in my car permanently so that I have, that kind of stuff. And we'll see what's going to happen. Yeah.
The other thing we've heard is they don't want kids in there stepping up on the tables or chairs and then jumping into the river. And I think we heard that from Bob Conger. And because we were saying, this is ridiculous. There's no tables or chairs down there. And they said, well, it's a liability thing. We don't want the kids jumping off. And I thought when I was a kid in Panama, we used to do some crazy things, jumping off of cliffs. And I could see exactly what he was talking about. So,
when we were first looking at lots, Mark at the sales office was telling us that area was going to have like a whole pavilion. There was going to be fire pits.
There will be
picnic tables up on the grassy area, so not near the river. So kids shouldn't be able to like jump off from that area.
Yeah, we're just talking about the gazebo.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. No, they're not, I don't believe that. They were talking the grassy area. There are going to be games. There's supposed to be fire pits over there. Right. Quite honestly, I think that, I don't know what the schedule is for that yet. I know that Hurricane Debbie and then the no-name storm.
Right.
We had some issues here from the no-name storm. I think set some of that stuff back a little bit. They're still working on some damage and things that were done, some water issues. But I will, Gretchen, I will bring it to the table and I will find out what the story is, what the plan is. I know that the pool furniture is going to be replaced next season. I know for those of you who use the pool, I know they're talking about the probability of the resurfacing happening for next season. We put it off, one season. So hopefully that answers, some of the questions. Brian, I know you had your hand raised. Was there something?
No, it was just my understanding that eventually the pavilion's going into grassy knoll where all the kayaks are
Yeah.
on that side. And that would be your seating area with picnic tables and fire pits and all that stuff. But somebody already said that, so it's all good.
Okay, cool. It's all good. Yes. Yes, Rob.
Speaking of kayaks, I'm probably going to bring 2 kayaks and a canoe down on Thursday. But I was told up at the front sales house that even though there's not a lot of room for that now, but just to bring it. But I don't know that I trust that.
So there are those racks were built, and you could request space in them. The person to speak to is Bob Conger.
I think they're full though. I think from what they told us, the rack was full.
They are, and they are full. And I know that there are some people who also have they have some kayaks that are down there that you can use. I do not believe that they have spaces for canoes because those racks are only for kayaks.
So Robin, should the canoe be kept over at the RV park?
Yes. Yes, I'm thinking that if you're going to do anything like that, because that is also locked. I can find out for you. I'll get some information tomorrow and see whether there's plans for building for putting in more storage for the kayaks, because it's becoming a very, very active area over there. There's a lot of people bringing their kayaks down.
Well, my backup plan is if that's where my canoe is going to be, that might wind up where my kayaks are going to be. I can at least secure them all together.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, didn't they? I think they said they ordered another rack, but it was on back. That's what did they?
Yeah, well, I know that they had that custom built. But I will. So Rob, are you on the Team Reach group
for kayaking?
For the kayaking group?
I can get on there. Yes, I have access
to
it. Yes.
Okay, so if you get onto that Team Reach group, the code for that is KK77.
Okay.
Okay, so it's KK77, and go in there and put a private message into either one of the so either Bob Conger is up there first. If I can get an answer from him before that, I certainly will. But that's the best way for anybody. If you're interested in any of these kinds of groups, I love doing it because I got a chance to see what was going on. So I think the first one that I joined was Bluffs Birding, because I wanted to see what the birds were here. I wanted to see what people were seeing. And you start getting to recognize people's names. Also, the It's Entertainment group is another one that if you're not on that one, those are all the activities that take place on premises. So that one is Be Entertained, BE Entertained. All of these things, you're going to find all of these things also on the owner's portal. The ones that have been sanctioned. There are a lot of private ones as well that you don't need quote unquote permission. So I heard through the grapevine that there's some people who want to learn how to play Mahjong. So they want to put together a Mahjong group. And okay, so put together a Mahjong group. We're in a community now where if there's something that interests you, I know that there was somebody that wanted to do river fishing. So they put together a group for river fishing. There's so many opportunities to do these things. You'll put it out there in the community. You're going to meet people, but there's a lot of interest now in the kayaking, Rob. And the reason that we don't know, Michael and I have inflatable kayaks that we keep in our garage. So we haven't really been as involved in the rack system for all of that, but definitely I'll get some information for you, and I'll get back to you on that.
And I planned on calling Bob Conger.
Yeah, he's away. I think he's going to be home later. He'll be back in the Bluffs later on this week.
All right.
Yeah, he's in St.
right.
I think he's in St. Thomas for another couple of days, but he'll be back by the end of the week.
You know, there's another little, and it's kind of a funny little research that I've been doing. You opened up by talking about the mosquitoes and the little lizards that eat the mosquitoes. And so I'm going to be building some bird houses and some bat houses just to place around the yard. But I also heard from Tammy the other day that we're living in an area that is the only area in the United States where Venus flytraps will grow wild. So I'm even thinking about Venus flytraps for the flies.
So feel free to experiment on our property. You can plant as many Venus flytraps. I am happy for it. One of the things that we did early in our build, and Brian, I'll get to you in 1 second, is a bat box. I bought a bat box, and Michael was like, okay, seriously? With all the things that have been delivered to our house from mail order over the years, he never thought in a million years a bat box. And I brought it down on the plane with me in my suitcase. And I left it here, and I have my builders. I said, when you guys are on a big high ladder, because there's nothing about, yeah, I got one of those too. On a ladder, I said, you guys have the big tall ladders. Could you just put it there? Because they say it takes a couple of years
Yes, it
for
does.
the bats to find it.
So your bluebird houses, your even things as simple as a hummingbird feeder somewhere close by.
Yep.
Hummingbirds love that type of insect. And we are living in an area that is loaded with hummingbirds.
Yes, it's absolutely wonderful. We actually, Michael, just luckily for me, just replanted. We brought trumpet vines from New York because they were such an important. We never had hummingbirds there because it never really happened. So now they've been replanted. We hope that they're going to, and then by next spring. But there's a very active woodworking group here. So if you're coming down and you want to get involved in that, absolutely. One of the things that I will share with you that I've been doing, and I haven't chipped a nail. So for those of you who were worrying about it,
thank goodness Walmart.
I am at the Walmart. I am taking a wood turning class in downtown Wilmington. And there's a huge, believe it or not, 90% of my class are women, which I thought was really kind of interesting. And it's something I've always wanted to do. And they have a very active group here with some world-renowned wood turners. So I'm working on a lathe. I have made 2 candlesticks and a honey dipper. Wow. My platter was an epic fail. This week is bowls. So if anybody here does wood turning or does any of that, it's a phenomenal opportunity to learn from some really great people, and the time in our lives as well to pursue something that perhaps either you didn't have time to do before or the resources, because nobody on Long Island, there's no land, there's no place to have 15 lathes in a room. Never mind, the people who have the equipment to do these things. So I never had the opportunity to be exposed to it. My daughter was like, do they have take your daughter to lathe class? She says, I'll come. But there's some amazing art, the Leland Cultural Arts Center, where actually we're going to go vote this week, is an amazing place. Has anybody coming down? Have you been to the Leland Cultural Arts Center yet? They're men, women, they do everything from pottery to stained glass to basket, that they also have exercise classes. And Julia has, I think for the last 9 years, has been taking belly dancing there, and they do performances all the time. So there's like all these really cool things around here that I've noticed that you hear about, but where I was, they just didn't, or it was so ridiculously prohibitive from the cost of doing it. So for $200, I think there's nine classes from 6 to 9, from 6 to 10 every week for 9 weeks. That's unheard of. Certainly where I was from. So it's been very exciting to pick and choose those kinds of things. And hopefully, you guys are going to be able to do some of that fun stuff. I think, Michael, you just went to play golf for the first time, or you went to practice golf?
Yes, for the very first time, I swung my golf clubs on a real ball. We've been so busy doing everything else, furniture shopping for one. But yeah, it's just something I haven't had a chance to do because I've been working. And there's a golf outing, a scramble format golf outing that's coming up in the beginning of November. So I made up my mind that I'm going to take a day off and going to go play golf and be part of the community instead of crawling into my cave and putting, and continuing to work. So happy to do that. But it's one of the first activities that we're doing. We've been here only 2 months and we're busy, with a lot of stuff besides just the shopping, getting to meet people and doing some local things and getting involved with last week's benefit dinner that we did for the Fishers. So it's been very busy, really busy.
Brian, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, so I have a lot to unpack here. First of all, a safety lesson. Make sure you pull that beautiful hair of yours back when you're working on the lathe.
I
Don't
do.
want it to get ripped up, right? Second, to go with the belly dancing, the pole dancing would be just as good. Third question is for you, Mike. You guys moved down there. Did you use the girl who suggested or whose mother lives in the Bluffs? Or did you go somewhere else? How did your whole move work out?
Our move, the actual moving of our stuff.
The vendor.
If I had to go into all the details, everybody would just turn off their computers because we still haven't received all of our stuff. It took 2 moves to get here because of let's put it this way, we didn't use the mover that was the one that's affiliated with one of our residents here. Okay. We used somebody else and we thought it went well until he didn't come with a big enough truck. And so he had to make a second delivery. And then there were things that he still didn't deliver. So it's a sad story. You don't want me to go into the sad story.
But okay, so Andrea Daniels, who is the person who is part of the Mayflower, whatever it is right now. Every single person that I have spoken to that has used Andrea has had nothing but phenomenal things to say about her. And
you put her name up.
I absolutely can. Actually, I'm going to be inviting her to come back again. Everybody has really been incredibly impressed, and she's such a wonderful person as well, passionate about what she does, and everybody, I mean, honestly does not have enough to say about her. So I'm going to.
Hey, Robin.
Yes.
In particular about the company, not so much about Andrea. Andrea has come through very nicely.
Well, we haven't moved yet, but
we haven't moved yet. But in my industry, we would use Hildreth / Mayflower United. For the last 15 years, they would help us with our dental equipment and moving dental equipment and all the things that we needed so that our own men were not getting their backs hurt. Well, the moment I walked into the Mayflower United area here in Richmond, we were given boxes to help us with moving. The company itself is a really solid outfit. And they do this is what they do. And I think we're lucky to have Andrea, whose I think mother lives in the neighborhood.
Yes, that's Barb Daniels. Barb Daniels.
And they see things that other companies really wouldn't see. They see where our house is progressing. They have an understanding that that it's going to happen soon, and they better be ready. So I've been very pleased with this United Mayflower outfit.
Awesome. No, she's terrific. It's funny that I spoke to her the other day, and she told me she was coming over to take a look at one of the models, because she's doing a move into one of the models, and she wanted to see the layout of the
Do
house.
they work with all areas of the country?
Yes, yes. So what happens with Andrea? She's her information is actually based. She's out of Florida, but what happens is that she can move you from anywhere, and she does everything from literally taking your stuff, and you don't have to lift a finger. There are a number of people who have been here who had not only had Mayflower do her house, but also she had an 87-year-old mom and did her house as well.
Yeah.
So, as I said, I have not heard anything but phenomenal reviews, and she is smart and she is on it, and she's very good what she does. And her mom lives here. So if you are in town and you want to meet with her in person and you just want to know who you're talking to, absolutely, she moved back to Wilmington. She was in Florida for a while. She's moved back here.
So let me jump in, Rob. So Andrea did a presentation for this group probably 2 years ago now, a year and a half, when we first started. She did a really good job. She explained all the services, and there are storage solutions as well as moving solutions, because not everybody is coming right down here and moving into their home. So she also presented to us some of the services that the company provides, so they can move you, say, from another state, bring your stuff down, put it in storage, or wherever they put it in storage. And then maybe you're living for a few months or 6 months in a local apartment. Then they'll take it to the next step, and then they'll move you into your house. So there's a lot of really good services that our company can provide.
Michael, they had a video we did, a walkthrough on a Zoom type of thing. Also, they saw what we have. And also, a 53-foot long tractor trailer sometimes will not make it into some of our new neighbors' homes. And they were going to bring a smaller truck, load it up, take it back to their depot, come back and load up another one. But they sent someone to our home, to our neighborhood, and they did all of the logistics to make sure that when that tractor trailer shows up here, that they're able to get that tractor trailer in and on our driveway to load up the furniture. So there's little things that go on behind the scenes that I thought the video was a good thing too. We literally walked through the house and the attic and the shed and the garage. So they have an idea.
So what I will do is I'll have a conversation with Andrea, and I am going to bring her back onto, I'm going to bring her back to do just because it's nice to know who you're talking to from time to time as well. And gives me another chance to have a good conversation with her. So it's getting a little late. Anybody have anything they want to bring up? Any questions? Anything they want to share? So I'm going to look into the kayaks, the kayak area. I'm going to look into tables and picnic tables and things like that, and see what's going to go on over by the gazebo. Show of hands, how many people are planning to come down for the POA? So they'll be there. Michael, you have no choice, honey. You're coming. So, let's maybe what we'll do if everybody's coming, just remember there's a party the night before on that Saturday here at the Bluffs. That's the developers party. So if you're coming down, try to be there for that. That should be really wonderful. The meeting is 9:00. They do breakfast, a little, like a light breakfast. But let's try to see something. Let me see if I can pull something together maybe for Thursday or Friday. We all get a chance to make sure that we meet. And if there's any questions or anything else that you have beforehand, anything for Doug or any answers that you want from the developer, definitely reach out to him, email him. He will answer every single person personally. He will call you, he will email you, he'll have a conversation with you. And he really does do it, which is why, because sometimes people have gotten concerned or upset because he doesn't open the whole floor up to questions at the POA. Sometimes what will happen is that so many people will be asking a particular question that he'll add it to the presentation at the POA meeting. So, but if there is something that you want to know and you need information about, definitely reach out to Doug. His information is also on that sheet. And he'll pick up the phone and he'll give you a call or he'll text you. He's pretty out there.
Can I ask one quick thing?
Sure.
Somebody mentioned at some point about blinds. So we'll be probably moving in January, building with Haygood. We're coming from Minnesota. We can't get there very often to see it. Somebody mentioned that they worked with a company for blinds that put up paper blinds in the windows that were like, you have to have blinds before you made your final choices on blinds.
Yep, absolutely. So I mean, actually those, so got you covered. And I have certificates. I have gift certificates here. So if anybody wants them, but you can get those at Lowe's. Like you don't need.
Here are my paper shades.
Yeah, there's Michael's paper shade. We're waiting for it. I mean, it's not going to block the glare and the light, but it will block the people from looking at you while you're getting dressed in the morning. But he sent his son to Lowe's to pick them up.
Perfect.
So you can get them at Gap. And you can you can trim them and you can do all kind of stuff.
Perfect. I just didn't want to be rushed into picking the blinds that'll be the forever blinds, from far away.
Absolutely. And yeah, so he's going to be, we should be getting ours very, very soon. But you're more than welcome to come and see the job. I have a very special talent. I can take a very well-priced person and find the most expensive product.
I know.
Every single book.
What do you like from this one? And then of course the one you pick is the most.
You know what? I wasn't even paying attention. I just wanted to find something that I loved. And Janine, you'll have to come and see, because I think you have, we've talked about that particular talent that we have.
Yeah.
And Michael and I talked about it. This is like the jewelry for your house. We spend a year or two coming up with every color in every room and every brick. We know our studs by on a first name basis, and it just kind of completes, the look. We have very few shades in most of the back of our house because number one, there's nobody back there and we don't get direct sunlight. But surprisingly enough, Michael's office, he gets terrible glare at different times. And we didn't know strange things that you don't know about your house that
until you're in it.
We had two sinks and we turned one into a vanity. And had I known about the house and I've been living in the house, every one of our bathrooms has like a transom light up over the showers. Like, they don't do that in New York. So now I have it. I cannot put on my makeup on my side between 8:15 and 9:40 because I get these gorgeous rainbows and all of this light coming in on that side, but I didn't know. And you can't put a shade up there because it's not a place that you would put a shade.
Right.
So if you have a chance to go at different times, that was something never occurred to me because I don't perceive that there's windows in the bathroom.
Right.
That to me wasn't a window. Was something that you lift up and down. It didn't occur to me that that sun was going to come in through that glass.
Robin, if you're going to build a home, one of the best things to do early on when you walk the lot is to take your phone and have a compass app on your phone and see which side of the house your sun is going to rise and where it's going to set. And then you can gauge which side of the house, the southern side of the house, is going to get the most sun. So that's kind of, are you right-handed or left-handed? You should know where the sun's going to rise and where it's going to set.
We did that, didn't we, Michael?
We did. So Rob, the room that I'm in has a southern exposure. Robin and I walked this house many, many times. And the observation we made is like wow, our house doesn't really get a lot of direct sunlight coming in. But here's the thing, it may not be the direct sun, but the sun, you get a lot of indirect light that just comes flying through the glass. And so in the middle of the day, it's not so bad if I'm on my computer. However, what I discovered is if I'm doing a Zoom or a Teams video call, the left side of my face is lit up. I mean, lit up, it's white. And the right side of my face is the color you see now, because to my left over here is this window. So even though the sun is not blinding, there's a lot of light that comes through it. So from just normal visual standpoint, not a problem. From a video standpoint or broadcasting standpoint, terrible, absolutely terrible. But we didn't know that until we're here in the house. I have my desk here, I'm facing in this direction, and now we know what comes in through this window. And again, it's open. And one day, I don't have a neighbor, there's trees next to me. A year from now, there will be neighbors there. So even though we don't need it now, the neighbors don't need to see inside my house. There will be shades on these windows when the neighbors are here in a year or even less.
And it'll be interesting also, we said, how the sun is going to affect it, because right now there's a forest next to our house. I mean, there's a lot of trees. It'll be curious to see how much more, there'll be a house there, but every time you move one thing, a lot of other things happen. I know that during the second storm, the non-unnamed storm, we had a lot of water here. And it just came flooding through because there's nothing there. There was no house. There was and now all of a sudden our house is there. Now, when the next house is there, hopefully the rain and the drains that were put in will take care of it. But you don't know what you don't know until you don't know it.
That's right.
So here's something interesting that we learned for those that haven't built their house yet. I think a bunch of people on this call are already in process. Pay very close attention to where you think the water is going to go when you get a very hard driving rain, because Robin and I now know where the water goes in this area. And Doug had to take some remedial action to create some drainage. But some of the houses that we see, especially on Rivergate Way, right? I look at these houses and say, wow, where is the water going to go? Is it going to go flooding towards their house? Is it going to go down the street? Where does the water go in a driving rainstorm that we had several weeks ago or a month or two ago? We know where it goes on this property.
We had to build a huge wall, and it's the mother of all walls is what we call it. Rosie had to build a little bit of a wall on her lot too, but we were lucky that we were moving in right when they were having all the storms, right after Debbie. And so, but yeah, and that can get costly too.
Did you pay for that, or did the builder or
the builder paid for part of it, but we paid for most of it. Yeah, he paid for the part that reinforced the driveway. And then we paid for like the bigger part of it. He did the area that reinforced the generator area and then the driveway.
Yeah.
So he paid for about a third of it, I think.
Yeah. I think it's real good, and that these are all good points. I think it's really important to have that hard discussion with the builder about, hey, have you thought about where the water is going to go on my property? Because Robin and I, and Karen, maybe you do too, we talk to other people and people say, oh yeah, I'm putting in a French drain, or I had a flooding problem when we did this, and we had a flooding problem and Doug, the developer, did that. So it's really, really important to know where the water goes.
Janine, I'm already having that discussion with Doug.
Okay, great. Let me know.
You and Tammy and I are gonna share that. And I think we really need to make sure that that's kind of front page for Doug.
On both sides.
Okay, yeah, I know back earlier this year when we had a really good rain, actually Rosie was kind enough and took some pictures, actually walked on the lot, because I was like, oh my God, with the wetlands, what was going on? And she didn't encounter any puddles or any water coming over or anything like that, which was great. And then I think Kim, right after Debbie, you went on and she took some pictures, and it didn't look like I had any standing, any puddles or anything. Yes, there was mud because they had cleared part of the lot, but, and now, Tammy, you had sent how they did that
behind you.
big ass French drain behind.
Well, that's what we'll call
River
it,
Park.
Janine. That
I
big
called it
ass
a big
French
ass
drain.
French drain. And whatever that loop is behind us,
Well, I've said to Doug, I do not want standing water in that.
Well, we
Correct. And between our properties, there was that little opening where when we saw the lot in October, it was looked like somebody had driven through it when they were doing some clearing. And then in January, I had reached out to Pat Nicoletti, and they went and fixed it.
Yeah.
And then another time, then we went down. I forget when we went down, but we went down, and maybe it was January when we saw it and went down. I was like, no, this isn't fixed. She goes, we did fix it. And I go, well, here's the first picture from back in October. Here's the picture from January. And they sent it out. And again, Rosie actually went, and they had done a beautiful job of fixing it. There was nice grass and stuff.
I would imagine by then we were also part of the dialogue coming
Probably,
out. And we
probably,
have that
yeah.
on both sides of our house. So we're going to be with Paul and Jennifer with the same type of conversations about the bigger issue of how water moves away. Michael, you're right. How does water move in our neighborhood?
Well, it looks like my lot kind of goes down to the wetlands because my footings step down towards that section. So it seems that it would kind of,
There's a pond back there. There's a pond that's going to be behind.
You guys have a pond. I don't have a pond.
Well, there is a capture pond at the very bottom of that hill.
But it's not behind her.
It's not behind your house.
Yeah.
It's not behind our house or Paul's house, but it's back there.
Ooh, we got to find the pond. Get out your canoe. We'll go for a ride.
No, and these are all really important things, and these are definitely conversations and questions to have. And if you send an email over there, and if you don't get an answer, you can pick up the phone and text and do that. So we're getting up on that 9 o'clock mark. I'm going to we'll try to have our meeting somewhere earlier in November. I apologize for the late date this time. It's been a little bit crazy. Our daughter is finally coming to the Bluffs for the first time. She said, I don't care about your studs or your drywall. I don't really care about your wiring. When I have a place I can throw my coat. I said, well, you don't need a coat. So surprise. But they're finally coming down. So we're preparing for them this weekend, and it's all good. And I'm so appreciative of all you guys, and stay safe and stay well. If you have any other questions, please let me know. And I look forward to seeing a whole bunch of you here next month. And then hopefully we'll all be getting the opportunity to see each other in December. You have a great night. It was good to see everybody.
Have a good night, everybody.